Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring you another video for The Walking Dead Season 5. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing an updated character death predictions for this last part of the fall season. We are already 4 episodes in, and I can't believe that in another month we will basically be going on break and surviving through the winter without Walking Dead until February. But the way that the show's been going, I predict there's going to be at least one more character death, maybe two. And I kind of wanted to give my thoughts in regards to where that storyline might be going. So again, these are just predictions. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I will be making references to anything that's happened so far on Walking Dead. So if you're not caught up, or if you don't like predictions and you don't want to be given ideas of what might happen, then please don't watch the video because you might be spoiled. Okay, so at this point, the way that the story is going, in my opinion, it's really signaling that one of two things is going to happen. And in my opinion, either Beth is going to die, Carol's going to die, and in a rare potential circumstance, both might die. I don't think that last possibility is very strong, but it might happen. I just can't see them killing off anybody else at this point, really. We have our fan favorites. We have Abraham's group that is still, leading them towards the Washington, D.C. Area in order to get Eugene to get the cure out there. The thing is really, the way that they've been writing the story at this point has been marking either the end of Beth, the end of Carol, or the end of both of them, in my opinion. And I'm just going to give my thoughts on those. One of the things I have to say about Beth is that Beth has been a great character on the show. I love the way that they have basically transformed Beth into someone who was not very strong and actually wanted to kill herself in the second season to becoming a very strong warrior by the end of Slabtown. I mean, the way she was shooting those zombies and the way that she, has basically been growing as a character, you see how much stronger she is than she ever was. And there's a reason she's still alive. I mean, I'm not alone in, thinking. I've seen a lot of predictions videos where people thought that Beth was going to die a long time ago, and even I thought that that was a possibility. And she hasn't. She's still alive, and I think there's a very good reason for that. And at this point, I can see them doing one of two things with Beth. Either she's going to die before the mid-season finale, or I think that she's going to basically come out of the hospital as a much stronger character that basically has storylines down the road. At this point, one of my big concerns about Beth is the way that she is still, now. You see that she is growing, but she also still retains a lot of that innocence quality that she's had throughout the show. I mean, a lot of the times before this, we've seen Beth, for the most part, she's been like the ray of light for the show, her singing, her, babysitting Judith, things like that. We see her as more of an innocent member of the group than others, and she really hasn't had to do a lot of things to really, if you want to call it get dirty. She hasn't had to really kill anybody. When she killed that guy in the last episode, it was an accident, She had no ill intention. But you see that starting to grow a little bit in her. Her sending, Dawn over to the office. Dawn easily could have been killed by the walkers in the office. What she did with Gorman, I mean, she's showing she has these capabilities. And I think that she was going to stab, there was a possibility that she might have been ready to stab the doctor or stab somebody else in that last scene in Slabtown. We don't know because Carol came through the door. But we've seen that Beth has that capability. The question is, are they going to, expand that? And one of the things is, I feel like they have to. Because if they get to the Alexandria safe zone in the TV series and Beth is still the same person that she is now, in my opinion, this is what we're going to see Beth doing. She's going to either become the community babysitter for all the kids, or she's going to be like a school teacher. And that does an injustice to the character. I mean, I don't want to see Beth end up fading into the background and we only see her every now and then, or it's like some little stupid blurb, kind of like what they've done with Father Gabriel in the comics. I don't want to see that happen. If Beth is going to live on the show, I want to see her have a central role and be important. So I feel like in order for them to do that, if we're going towards the Alexandria safe zone, she needs to be a little more involved and a little bit more of a changed character. And the hospital definitely has the capability of doing that. We still have 4 episodes, and somewhere in between there, we're going to have more scenes with Beth. And if we see that she has been affected by this incident, then perhaps she may become a stronger character. That's one of the possibilities. The other thing is, in regards to her death, one, it would definitely impact the rest of the group because they would be absolutely devastated. Beth being the, innocent person that she is, the ray of hope, somebody that, you might even look as one of the future people like Carl, who would bring society back together, is dead. And it would definitely have a big impact on Daryl and would definitely, hurt him for a little while. And also I thought that Beth's death might impact Maggie a little bit. We've always been saying, why hasn't she, been looking for her sister? Why has she just been concerned about Glenn? Why hasn't she been more active in that? Well, the chance is that maybe they're setting up a comic book storyline for Maggie. And in the comics, after the prison gets overtaken by the governor and destroyed, basically her younger brother Billy, who's not in the TV show, it's kind of like Billy became Beth in a sense, he dies and Herschel dies at the prison. So she loses her family and she ends up hanging herself while they're on their way to Washington. She lives, of course, but she comes out of that completely different as a character and as a person. And I think they could definitely benefit by, using Beth's death towards that purpose, to make Maggie a little upset about, what happened. That she could have been looking for her sister. She could have had a more active role, and instead she ignored it, and Beth ended up dead, and hence, a big storyline for Maggie. So I definitely think that Beth could, influence Daryl, Maggie, and other characters as well, not just in the, the short term, even for the long term. So I think that it could definitely work either way. But in regards to whether Beth or Carol would die, if one of them had to go, I would pick Carol more as the one that's going to go than Beth. Reason I say that is because, I love Melissa McBride as an actress, and her portrayal of Carol in this show has been amazing. You cannot deny that. She's won a Saturn Award that she definitely earned and deserved. And we have seen Carol transform so much from that scared woman in the first season to all out bad, I don't like to swear, tough woman, excuse me, in, the 5th season. Bad ASS is what I like to call it. So, and I think that it's absolutely incredible, what they have done with Carol. Here's my concern though. One, I don't know what else they can do with Carol in order to make her any more surprising than she already is. I mean, the killing of Karen and David, the killing of Lizzie, and even just, her going in there gung-ho and killing all those people at Terminus. That continued to surprise us and amaze us over and over again. But really, what can they do with Carol now? I feel like they're kind of getting to the end of the road, and she's never going to be able to go back all the way to who she was, even in season 3. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, the story also seems to be writing towards Carol's end. One, she's trying to leave the group. She made that, pretty apparent to us as viewers in the 2nd episode when she tried to leave Daryl. When she's around the group, it makes her think about Karen and David and Lizzie and all the things that she did, and she wants to move past that, but she can't while she's in the group because she looks at Rick and she just knows what happened. She looks at everybody else around her and knows, I was at the prison, this is what I did, and I can't deal with it. And that's understandable. So I think that I just can't see her being able to be in this group later and just overcoming those things unless she has some big revelation in these next 4 episodes. And something else I was thinking about, Carol being in the hospital now, I have to wonder, and I think we'll see, because I've heard the sixth episode is supposed to be focused on Daryl and Carol before this happened. I'm starting to wonder, was it really an accident that Carol ended up in the hospital? Like, was she captured and Daryl got away? Or did Carol intend to be kidnapped? Because Carol's the master of being able to rescue people. I mean, what she did at Terminus is just amazing. What if she's infiltrating the hospital? She intentionally gets herself caught, or just lays there, gets knocked out, and she gets picked up and brought in there, but that's part of her plan because she wants to know the layout so that she can do exactly what she did at Terminus and infiltrate the inside and rescue Beth. That's a very good possibility. Either one, I don't know. But she may have intentionally put herself inside that hospital in order to rescue Beth. And, I think there's going to be some scenes in between, with Beth and Carol. And what I was thinking about was that maybe Carol will talk with Beth and she'll start to realize how, Beth and Daryl connected. She might mention, yeah, Daryl and I were together and blah, 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 blah. And Carol might realize, maybe see the spark in Beth's eye or something that makes her realize that Beth loves Daryl. And that might come out. We don't necessarily know the extent of the relationship yet, but that might, come out as a possibility. And Carol sees that and she goes, yeah, I mean, I don't know, the whole extent of Carol and Daryl's relationship. I look at it more as a mother-son type thing, but other people are going to, hit me in the face and tell me I'm wrong and say that it's a love relationship. And there is some of that, and I'm not going to deny that. But I think that Carol might look at that situation and go, Beth is a better influence for Daryl than I could ever be. I think she might, inside her come to that realization. And I know that at some point, Rick, Daryl, and the group are going to come, to rescue Beth and Carol. And I thought, boy, can you imagine a scene where Beth and Carol are in danger and Daryl's right there and he can only save one and he's like trying to decide and it's like there's, tense, it slows and we're all like on the edge of our seats. And Carol sees this and doesn't give Daryl the option. She sacrifices herself so that Daryl can save Beth or so that Beth can get away, whatever the case might be. And that way, she believes that Daryl and Beth can get together and Beth can have a positive influence on Daryl. Because we saw how much Beth was able to bring out of Daryl. And, Carol did some of that as well. But I think that Carol might feel like, she's not the same person that she was before she killed Karen and David. We all know this. And I don't think that she, feels that she can be a good influence on Daryl in the future. So hence, and just to, kind of make up for what she did, she sacrifices herself so that Beth lives and gets away. And that's, bringing her full circle. That would be a great end to the character. It would be something that we could all, honor in Carol. She would go down in Walking Dead history. Not like she already has. But I think that's a very, very good possibility that might happen. I don't want it to necessarily. I'm just saying that based on the way they're writing things, it really seems like they're writing to bring Carol to an end. And if that's the case, then I'm going to miss Carol. I think a lot of us will. But I think that it would be interesting to see that, play out a little bit. There is a rare chance that, both of them might die. I don't want that to happen. I think that would be absolutely terrible. It's already bad enough that Daryl's going to have some negative feelings about this if one or the other dies. And I just feel like they're setting it up for that. Because one of the things that we've noticed about Daryl is that he's lost people throughout his life and he doesn't like that. He doesn't like to be abandoned or lose people. We've seen that over and over again. And I think that losing both of them would pretty much lose Daryl as a character. I mean, we've known that characters can come back from things. I mean, Rick came back from losing Lori. Daryl, came back from losing Merle. A lot of things that have happened to these characters, and we think it's going to break them, but it really doesn't in the long run, just temporarily. And, you see that also with Tyrese when he lost Karen. I mean, he bounced back to being, the nice guy that we knew him to be. So it's debatable, just how much it would affect Daryl. But I think that, if he lost Carol and Beth, I just don't really know how he would be able to function as a character. I think he would be totally gone. It would almost like ruin him as a person, and he wouldn't be the same Daryl, and we wouldn't even like him anymore because he'd be so withdrawn that it's not even funny. And I don't really know what could bring him out of that, sadness. So I feel like one of them has to at least live, and then that way they can explore that later in the story where Daryl might lose Carol and he looks at Beth and sees the future, and we stop this whole nonsense of, him being so, uh, I guess, not involved, in a romantic relationship. We might finally see him take the plunge with either Carol or Beth. If one of them dies and the other lives, he might go, you know what, I can't be wasting any more time, and I'm going to, pursue this romantic relationship. And I think that would be something that would be very interesting to explore. So that's what I think. I think that Carol is more likely the one to die. Beth might. Both might in a very rare circumstance, but I hope it doesn't. But I think that at this point they're really writing towards the end of Carol's character. And, I will miss Carol, but I think that that's what's going to happen. Again, just predictions. I have not read anything. I do not know 100% at all that this will happen. Something completely different might happen. Somebody else might die. I don't know. I'm just saying that based on what's going on now, I think that that's pretty much what they're writing towards. So at this point, guys, I'm going to bring the video to a close, and I want to thank you all for watching. If you all have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Is there something I missed? Do you think there's another character that might be in danger? Do you think that it should be Beth over Carol? What do you guys think? Let me know. Write it in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I have more videos coming out, and if you guys have anything that you want me to do, any video topics on Walking Dead or the other zombie show Z Nation, just put them in the comments, send me a message, whatever you need, and I will try to make the video when I can. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.